Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Snickerdoodle Chronicles. Actually, this is a special episode. This episode is called That's the Way the Cookie Crumbles. So, I'm doing this special episode because I've had a particularly, let's say, hectic week and a half or so. Celebrated birthday on October 3rd. God is so good. And then some other things happen. I'm not, again, this is a safe space, but this isn't just for me to sit here and vent on camera. This is for us to talk about some things, learn some lessons, right? So that's what I intend to do. So let me just pull up my reference material. Um, and I'm really excited about this project, and I'm really giving this all I have so that I don't hit a wall and then like have this great idea and then just stop. So the saying, that's the way the cookie crumbles, is used when something bad has happened, to say that someone must accept the things the way they are, because they can't change. Like, you can't go back in the past, unless someone out there has decided to harness the power of time travel. Please let me know. Send me the secret. DM me. um we can't change it. And how many times in life do you trucking, the little engine that could, you keep moving, and you're so excited about something, or you're so thinking that something's coming up. And then the next thing you know, boom, you hit a wall, or boom, your kids are sick, or boom, you lost your job. Now, I'm guilty of taking that boom and letting it just destroy me. I'm guilty of letting it just send me to the abyss, but not in 2023. So, like I said, I had the birthday, everything's good. I'm so excited. And then, the cookie crumbled. And everyone around me said, "Oh, Shay, I was so nervous because of when the cookies crumbled before and the way you reacted." And I'm kind of like, what? No. And then, of course, you think about it. What are your patterns? What are your habits? Oh, yeah. If the cookie had crumbled this way, say 6 months ago, reaction would have been completely different. Cookie had crumbled like this 2 years ago, I don't even know. And October is Domestic Violence Month. Um, the other day was Mental Health Awareness Day, and so I think that's what we should touch on today. Are you okay? Like, how are you taking situations when they hit you and going with it, going forward? Because life is a journey. It's not this static pattern. It's a journey. You're going to have twists and loops and jumps and bounds and all of these things. And it's up to us who are on this journey called life to figure out what we're going to do with it. So, okay. Because this time last week, I was sitting and I was like, okay, I got to be positive. I got to be positive. And it what and it, I know to some people it should be like, oh, you're alive, you're healthy, on paper it sounds so easy, right? Is it that easy though? Is it? I find that it's easier now with maturity and lessons learned. But I'm speaking to the people who may be in that moment right now where they're on that ledge, where they're on that precipice, where they're not knowing what's next. They're not knowing that it will get better because the cookie has been just crumbling and you're underneath it. You're underneath the rubble, the ashes, the crumbs. And in this moment in time, I'm here to encourage you and tell you Sometimes we don't know how it's going to happen. Sometimes it seems as though, hmm, I can't figure this out. God's always got it figured out. That's when you rest. The song, After You've Done All You Can, You Just Stand. That's all you have to do. I used to be in the hospitality industry, and I remember I used to just be so excited, and I would tell my dad, "Oh, I gave it 120%," and he would nod and smile, and then some other event would come up or whatever the case may be, and I gave it 1,000%, and my dad, of course, and my parents are supportive, so they were excited. So I remember I was, once I had children, I was telling him about something. I was like, "Oh, Dad, I'm giving this 110%." And he calmly just looked at me and said very clearly, he said, "You don't have to. God only requires you to give it your all, give it 100%. Do your best. Transcend it, right? Because think about it. Society says, no, we have to surpass 100%. Even people, they want to give relationships 50%, so it equals 100. No, we have to give 100 and 100. Um, so how humbling is that? How easy is that for us to maintain? That's a attainable goal. Give it your best. No matter what, give it your best. Um, and even with the makeup of the society that we live in today, it's so much easier to know God will be pleased with me from trying and giving it what I had than God seeing me struggle to try to just surpass my own expectations. That's not even a that's a peace thing. That's a piece of peace for me. I want to share this too. So we and my me and my children we were displaced for a little bit after last week, and I got some news, and you know with the news coming, I broke down, and I broke down, and my mom was like, "Don't break down. Like, there's no need to break down." And I'm like, "I'm trying. Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm getting up, taking my kids to school, going to work. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So why in the world would this happen?" And my mom said, "Well, you did what you're supposed to do. Don't ask the what ifs. Don't live there." So I think, you have a flashback, and I'm thinking about all the times that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, when I was just lollygagging. And I wasn't desirable by the devil then. What was he going to do with a lazy person? I mean, just being honest, what was the devil going to do with a lazy person? The devil needs people to do his bidding. He don't need people that's ain't interested in not even being productive for themselves. Um, so I'm I'm able to rest, and I'm able to know that my Lord covers me, because now the devil sees that I'm so focused on God. I'm so focused on growing my family into a position where they're comfortable and where we don't have to worry or struggle or strain. And that's overwhelming also. It's overwhelming at times because it's easy to be lazy. It's easier to sit down and be complacent. It's easier to complain. It's easier to ask for someone else to do it. That's the new thing, right? Get someone else to do it. Um, so here we are, right? And we're rolling with the punches, rolling with the punches. And I want to always make sure that I'm forward looking. I'm tunnel visioned. Um, I don't know if anybody watches Stranger Things. So I love Stranger Things. And this last episode, there was this song and it said, "Run Up That Hill," right? Now, mind you, in this last season, they played it everywhere. I was never sick of it because I can eat the same things. I can listen to the same things. I love the same things. Like, give me mac and cheese every day. I'm good. Give me the same song over and over. Eric Clapton, Layla, I'm good. I do not own the rights to that song. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention that. But anyway, so the song says I'm running up that hill because it's about reaching a goal, right? Obtainable things, going up a hill. And I looked on Facebook one day and there was a meme and it said, you know, something about repetitiveness. And that was the song on the meme. And so I was at an event maybe a month ago. And I'm sitting there with my colleague and we're eating. And the DJ plays this song, but it wasn't the same rendition as the song in Stranger Things. But I heard "Running Up That Hill." And of course, I beamed and I got excited. And I asked the DJ, I said, "Is that the song from Stranger Things?" He said, "It is." Instant happiness, right? I met John Archibald that night, by the way. So, John, if you see this, hey, I'm telling you that because the song says "Running Up That Hill." That's an incline. So it's not the most easy thing to do. But in life, we have to do it, right? We have to go into difficult situations. We have to face uneasy, uncomfortable things. We have to have difficult conversations. We have to set boundaries because when they're pushed, it pushes us into places we shouldn't be anymore, right? I am now looking at everything that happened to me last week. And I'm so thankful for God's mercy. And so I was talking to my dad about that. And my son said, "Mom, what's mercy?" I said, "You know, when you get in trouble and I say you can't have your toys." And he said, "And then I still give them to you anyway. Or I let you go watch TV." And he said, "Yeah, that's mercy. It's giving us things that we don't deserve. Even when we know we don't deserve it. God gives us that every day, right? So since he gives us his mercy, and the only thing he requires of us is to do our best, why do we complain so much?" And I'm guilty of it. Like I will take ownership. I'm a complainer. I'm a complainer and I'm a yeller. I admitted that in the first episode. I'm admitting that I'm a complainer in this special episode. Um, he gives us his mercy, right? But all he requires is our best. So if we're in a position where we're stuck, we're scared, we're feeling like we're screwed over, we're feeling like we're pushed in a corner, we're feeling like, "Oh my goodness, I can't do this." Instead of panicking, shouldn't we look for the mercy in it? Shouldn't we look for the thankfulness in it? My mom always says, "In all things, give thanks. In all things, find joy." But how? That's the question, right? That's the question we're faced with. How do we find joy? I'm drinking my lemonade because no idea. But then I had a eureka moment, okay? I'm a mother. Said this 1,000 times, right? I always want my children to be okay. I'm always like, "Oh, do anything to me, don't do that to my kids," right? But the beauty of children is God created them to be so resilient, so bulletproof, so well rounded, so humble, all of these things. That's why he wants us to have childlike faith. Okay? If we are in a position, okay, the cookie has crumbled, right? Stuff has hit the fan. We should revert back to that childlike faith. where I know in every moment, every circumstance, my kids, when they're with me, they're not scared, they're not frightened, they don't feel unsafe because they know they're with me, right? And I've worked very hard to make that the environment that they're in. But God's worked just as hard for us to be in that environment every single day. He's taking care of us every single day to put this environment around us where we don't have to worry, cry, fret, doubt, any of that. But we do it anyways. And that's okay. It's okay that we do it anyways. We're human, right? Thanks, Eve. And even though we do it, he doesn't take any of it away. I know that a lot of times when bad things happen, people question God, and I'll admit. So I've been in a place where I just was like, he's doing this to me. It's payback because I was bad, or he's forgotten me. I've been there. I've been there. I've been to the place where I'm not worthy. I've been to the place where I don't even think I need to do this life anymore. Safe place, right? Being honest. Okay. So I know someone's okay, well, what brought her back? I had to figure out where I fit in this life. I'm adopted. I have abandonment issues. I have control issues because of the abandonment issues. I had to figure out where I fit. When you are uncertain, fear sets in. Fear. Oh, fear, right? Let's touch that. Fear sends us to do crazy things. Fear sends us to do impulsive things. Fear sends us to places that were never intended for us. Think about people who seek out thrill in like horror, haunted houses, horror movies, things like that. And I love a good scary movie. I love a good haunted house. But I'm talking about extremes. Fear. Fear drives us. The fear of not having enough food, the fear of not having enough money, the fear of our children not having enough, the fear of us losing our home. There's so many fears, right? And those are situations where that's where the cookie crumbles. They knock on your door and say, ma'am, you're getting evicted. You knew you didn't pay your rent. That's the way the cookie crumbles. They come to your door because your child came to school 3 days in a row because they weren't bathed and they hadn't changed clothes, and they inform you that they're taking them. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Your lights are cut off because you hadn't paid the bill in 3 months. That's the way the cookie crumbles. There's consequences for our actions. And again, it's what we do with those things. Okay, your lights are cut off. So what do you do now? Do you sit there and wait till your children come home to find out that the lights are off? Do you fake it until you make it? Or do you reach out to someone and ask for help? Your children are taken. Do you fight for them? Do you explain what the situation was? Do you look inwardly and say, okay, do I need help with this situation of raising my children? You're getting evicted. Did something happen? Was there a communication error? Was there a clerical error? What are all of these situations, even though you're in that situation, we face these tough things, is what we do with it. Even when you have a safe space, like I want this to be a safe space for people, make sure you have a network. Make sure that you're always looking into different resources. Make sure you're always looking for things that are for the betterment of yourself and your family. Make sure that if you are in an environment where you can prepare for worse comes worse, for when that cookie crumbles, put yourself in that position. And if you don't know, ask. Take away the stigma of fear. Let's work on taking it away. And it's hard. This is a fear-based society. They put stuff on the TV to scare us, and then we're scared. They put stuff on internet, Instagram, TikTok. They put on fear is out there, and fear is a tactic. And yes, I get fearful too. Oh my goodness, I just admitted that out loud, right? But my fear drives me in a different way now. Now my fear is, oh, I only paid 1 month of this. I should have paid 2. And my fear is, oh, I forgot to drop off those donations to the shelter. Now, I'm not sugarcoating and saying that I don't get fearful of other things. But my reaction to that fear with those other things is back to that childlike faith where I'm just like, I got to hand it over. My reaction to that fear now is, hey, I need help. This is what I've done to help myself to this point. And now here I am laying it out to see if you can help me further. Is it that way every time? No. But now more so it's my breakdown comes before the actual breakdown of the situation, to be honest. I want to acknowledge that with our children, with our livelihood, with our friends, with our circle, with our community, with our whoever, all those spaces should be safe. And it's not always possible, but if you are in a position where you weren't before, know that those circles change. I'm going to give you an example. Found out today one of my closest friends in the past who just suddenly dropped off the earth was in a lot of trouble. And even when I told my mom about it, she was kind of shocked. She was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, like I don't know." And she made the statement, "Well, you can't be friends with them anymore anyways because you're a mother too. You got this and this going on, et cetera, et cetera." Yeah, because single people, let me tell y'all something. Y'all be having a ball. And I be seeing y'all pictures and I be like, yes, I want to do that too. And even though I am a single person, I'm a mom first. So, anyway, so this person was around my children a lot. And that was what was like the most hurtful. But in a way, today, when I found out about what they did, somehow my mom knew, right? Somehow moms do that, right? They know. Somehow my mom knew. And once again, God protected me because I had to let it go. This was the first friendship that I just let go because I was just like, I can't fight it. I can't do anything. I can't any of that, right? And so, how amazing is it that God protected my children and myself from that situation and that person in such a way that was unequivocally, I mean, life saving, honestly. So, now, fast forward, right? With all that I've been dealing with, I want to go even harder. I want to go even harder to talk to people and tell them, yeah, that hurt. I know it hurt. And I know that it didn't feel good. And I know this happened. I know that happened. But guess what? We have redemption. We have a chance to do things better. We have a moment where we can step up and it can be better. When the wall hits us, let it hit you. Sometimes that's the only way we're going to learn. Sometimes that's the only way we're going to learn, just being honest. And embrace it. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary. Here we go back to fear. It's scary, right? So it's scary because the unknown. Ooh, mystery, right? But we really kind of know. Like, think about it. Okay. I'll use me example since I'm the only one here. Um, me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. This is okay. So let me give you history. I'm a self-sabotager too. So history. Find a new job, right? Oh, it's the bomb. I love it. Telling everybody about it, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I have this potential, I'm gonna earn this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, right? Great. Get in there, get in there, get in there, right? I'm getting my feet wet, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to show out that I'm good, I'm all this. Then boom, I get the first pushback. And that's how I'm looking. I'm looking like, excuse you, like, hello, this is me. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm new here, but just watch out. So that pushback usually leads to like a warning or something, right? So I feel offended. This is again, we're in flashback. We're not here. It's flashback. So I feel offended. So now I have an attitude. Okay, so now all the excitement, all the joy, all that has faded out. So I'm still in there trying to like be the bomb, right? But now I'm really kind of focused on my friends that I've made at work and whoever I'm dealing with at work, like whatever we're doing for that job. Not necessarily trying to be the bomb. That brings two pushbacks. Okay. So now I'm like, wait a minute. I just got here. Cause this, y'all, I'm telling you, this wasn't even a year's time. Like, this is months or weeks that I'm talking about. Okay, so all right, so strike number two, right? And mind you, even though I'm the one who is being told, like, chill out, I'm in my mind thinking I'm telling them chill out. And I'm telling everybody else what I told them, even though I didn't really tell them that. And little did I know, people could see that. Anyway, we won't go there. But anyway, so here we are, right? So now I've had two pushbacks. And at this point, I'm over it. At this point, I don't care. So my habit was to not care no more. They can get what they get when they get it. And boom, job's done. Either I leave. Most time I just walk out, just being honest. Um, all right. Not sustainable. Whew. Not sustainable. So we'll fast forward to now, to Shay in the present day. Started my job. Things got a little weird. I tried to, and that was the thing. It wasn't no pushback. This was like creative criticism. Like, I'm sorry, constructive criticism, feedback. I'm in an office setting. I need to do things certain ways. Hey, you told us you've never been in office before. This is what we need from you. And also, it wasn't pushback because everybody was new. So we're all learning each other. It's a learning curve, right? So I'm like, okay. But this time, I had made a commitment. I said, I'm going to be in a job a year. I never saw myself as trying to self-sabotage. But again, everybody around me saw it. Even in this job now, even now. It wasn't until maybe like 2 months ago, like recently, where I saw myself and I was like, oh, God, I was so tired of being tired of myself. Like, and when I say tired of myself, I mean like I was tired of sitting in the mirror and telling myself, like, trying to hype myself out of the BS. We know when we are full of it. We know it. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting to put a face on. It's exhausting to try to express yourself in this type of way where other people think that you're not BS. Like, it's exhausting. And this was the first place I didn't have to do that. But I had to do other things to kind of like, because I was like, oh God, I'm missing out on stuff. And I'm not. I'm not missing out on anything. But I was slipping back into old habits. And I was like, Shay, come on. Like, this job has been good to you. You are able to be in a place where you've never been before. Come on, what's worth it? Like, pony up. Let's, come on. I had to size myself up. My Northern Virginia and DC folks know what that word means. It means hype myself up. But, and yeah. So again, and the reason I'm telling you all that is because in this last week, my second in command was like, hey, I'm so proud of you. You did not react this way. Like, what did you do to change? She was asking me advice for her kid. Me advice. Even my father was like, "Yep, we used to bank on it." Wow, right? Eye opening. That's eye opening, right? And it wasn't. And of course, I know there's some people who are like, "Oh, they was was it thinking you was gonna fail?" No, it wasn't that they were thinking I'm gonna fail. They were so desperate for me to get out from in front of myself. I was making my own cookie crumble, y'all. My own cookie crumble. How you do that to yourself, Shay? It's a rookie move. I get 18, 19-year-olds. Not at my big grown age of 36. Can't do that to myself. So again, this past week, like I said, when it came full circle that someone said to me, hey, my daughter is doing this. I saw you doing it a year ago. But this last year, you have stopped. You've done this and you've done this. And you're stepping up to the plate and you're facing the issues. Because we can't run. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. So, yeah. It's tough. It's the everyday choice. No one tells you that about healing. No one tells you that about grief. When I got divorced, no one told me it was going to be a choice every day to feel better. No one told me when I went through things as an adult, it was going to be a choice every day. It's wild, right? Then when you add two little humans into the equation that you got to show up for, cook for, clean for, be happy for every single day. They're worth it. I'm worth it. You're worth it. We're coming to the end. But I want you to know you're worth it. That was the most rewarding moment in my life when I figured out I was worth it. That I don't have to keep these old cycles, old people, old anything. See, all those relationships that I thought I lost when I was sitting here lonely. I'm like, oh, I'm lonely. I'm missing this. I'm missing that. I'm not doing nothing. I sit in the house. I go to work. I come home. Those people can't be where I am now. Those relationships couldn't come to this plane. And some of the relationships I'm in on this plane aren't coming to where I'm going. And there goes the fear. Did you see my face? It sat in because the realization, that's a real realization. Everybody can't go where you're going, baby. Have to tell that to my now 3-year-old and 6-year-old. He had the opportunity to go, hang out at Clubhouse. My 3-year-old's like, oh, well, I'm going with Xander. You can't go with Xander. I says, for big kids only. She said, I'm a big girl. And she is. She's the best. But she's not of that age. She's not of that maturity. She can't be by herself. Yes, I had to explain to her that she couldn't go. That she couldn't hang out with him. And that's what God's trying to tell us. Everything he says he's going to prepare that table for you, right? He didn't say he was preparing it for you and everybody you went to high school with. He didn't say he was preparing it for you and John and them. He said he's preparing it for you. Now, I want my table. I want it. I do. I can be honest with that. I want it. How much do you want your table? How much do you want to change how you deal with life when that cookie crumbles? And that's an important question to ask yourself. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want flight or fight. I want to have childlike faith. I want to know, all right, things are going to come, but my God's bigger than those things that are going to come. My faith is bigger than those things that are going to come. You ask my son right now, well, what's your mom's job? And he'll be like, to keep me safe. No hesitation. That's where we need to be. Right there. In that space. No questions asked. No hesitation. So I'm going to leave you with that. I want you to think about that. Leave me some comments, some feedback in the comments I want to know, what are you going to do when your cookie crumbles? How are you going to react? Thank y'all so much for, of course, listening to me. And I hope that you enjoyed this special episode. As always, please like and subscribe. We are on Twitter. Like, I'm on Twitter now. Or X. I don't know what I'm supposed to call it. But I joined X. It says Chronic Snicker. Because that was as long as they would let me have it. But I definitely am always kind of cracking up at people. So, like I said, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, and follow us. So again, until next time, have a good one.